Hey there, I wanted to say hi. I am in Vegas. I'm staying at the Monte Carlo, and they are doing renovations here in this hotel, so I picked probably not the best time to come visit the Monte Carlo with the renovations. I had no idea at the time. But I wanted to say hi, and I'm going to encourage anyone that is running an online business that feels isolated, which can happen. Hi, Taylor and Tara. Hi, sweetie. I want to encourage anyone that is feeling a little isolated with an online business to get out there and then plan out getting out there to a specific event that you feel like will push you, and not just push you mentally, but do it in such a way that you feel a little uncomfortable. Okay, so like stretch yourself is what I mean. So don't stay behind your computer too much. I've been known to do that because I tend to be, I get really focused and kind of a workaholic, right? But you've got to get out there. It's good for the mind, okay? And really surround yourself with people with high energy. Okay, this is so important. I cannot even tell you, it's so important. And I'm going to give you another suggestion too. When you start to network, go to events, choose the events where people are not just going in the same direction, but that have already accomplished what you would like to accomplish, okay? And that's kind of what I mean when I say get a little uncomfortable, okay? And go out of your way to introduce yourself to them. And basically what I'm saying is stop hiding. And I'm sorry that I look like a ghost. I'm trying to touch the screen, and it's not working. The light is hitting me in that way. I look like a vampire. But stretch yourself and go out there and get in front of people that have accomplished a lot more than you. Okay, so for those of you that are a little bit introverted, okay, it's time to step out of that. I have seen, I haven't always been extroverted. I think people assume when I am, for instance, good example, on the plane last night, I was talking to, I think, 3 or 4 different people. It was a very lively group, and that's usually what you get on a plane to Vegas. But I was having a conversation with a guy that says, he called me extroverted because I just will talk to anybody. And but I'm not always that way. I'm going to encourage you to really watch yourself and ask yourself, when you get out and about, okay, when you're networking, do you tend to continue hiding even when you're getting out there? Okay, so ask yourself what you're saying, the kind of energy that you're putting forth. If anything, if you're kind of stuck on that, if anything, just listen, ask questions, and start listening to people's response. People love to talk about themselves and what they're doing. So use that to an advantage, but get uncomfortable with it. Start speaking to people more, okay? Get on the phone with them, encourage them. One thing that I teach is, hi Mark, Cowboys Sarah. One of the things that I teach is to send people, if you have a high ticket price point, okay, this is really important. If you're a coach or consultant and you're asking for a higher price point, meaning $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 or more, you're going to have to build trust, okay? So that comes with consistency. It's kind of like, this is kind of funny, but it's a good analogy. It's kind of like riding a horse. When you don't just run up to a horse and jump on, okay? You build a relationship with the horse. You actually earn that horse's trust. They're actually picking up on your energy and your confidence and whether they can trust you, okay, to get on and go for a ride. So think about that. I mean, if you have a higher price point, you're going to have to build trust through consistency. And then one of the best ways you can do that is by showing up consistently, getting on video, being yourself, okay? And people will start to pick up on your energy, and they'll either resonate with it or not, okay? And sometimes it takes people a lot longer to start resonating with your energy, and that's okay, okay? So, and I also encourage and teach to get people on the phone. So give people many opportunities. Like, for instance, I tell people to go to, if they want to get to know more about what I do and have more of an intimate conversation about it and connect on a deeper level, I tell them to go to coachmecrystal.com. And that's what it's going to take. Okay, it's going to take consistency. It's going to take the sales conversation or the consultation conversation. It's going to take you listening. It's going to take some of that to build that know, like, and trust. Okay, so get out there, get uncomfortable, and if you feel like you're an introvert, I've got a surprising fact for you, and that is that most extroverts have told me that most of their life they were introverted, and they learned how to climb out of that, how to grow out of that by literally putting themselves in situations. That's what you've got to do. Put yourself in situations to overcome that. Okay, and that is going to build trust. And one of the things that I love about introverts is that they are really good listeners. Okay, and there is a lot to be said for that. People want to feel heard. Okay, so use that to your advantage. Start listening. Okay, build know, like, and trust by showing up consistently. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. That's where you're going to learn. People that are in higher places in terms of what they've accomplished are going to rub off on you. Okay, and you've got to be seen. They've got to know who you are, and stop being afraid. And then ask yourself, if you've been doing this for a while, ask yourself, what exactly are you afraid of? You know, what is it? Gosh, this lighting is really bad. What is it that you're afraid of? It's not getting any better, is it? Are you afraid of the rejection piece? Are you afraid that because you haven't accomplished what they've accomplished, that you are somehow, you've put them up on a pedestal? And I'm here to tell you, don't ever put anybody up on a pedestal. It's one thing to be inspired by somebody because they've accomplished more. Don't put them on a pedestal. Okay, so really ask yourself why you're putting somebody on a pedestal. Okay, just because they've accomplished something that you would like to accomplish doesn't mean that you can't, doesn't mean that makes them a better person. In fact, most of the time, they're more approachable than you ever thought that they were. Okay, so some of the people that have accomplished a lot and reached certain levels, they did it by using the strategy that I'm telling you, which means they've been there, okay, and they're going to appreciate what you're doing more because of that. So really take that into consideration. Get around the people that have accomplished what you'd like to accomplish, not just the people that are going in the same place or in the same direction. I think that's important, sure, but you're really going to have to stretch yourself and even spend more time with people that have accomplished what you would like to accomplish. Okay, so get uncomfortable, start talking to more people, and lead people in your conversation, lead people to an opt-in page. You know, if you've got a business card, okay, lead them to an opt-in page to connect with you on another level. So coachmecrystal.com would be a great way to put that on my business card. Whether that person wants to do business with me or not after meeting with them, at least they can go to that and find me quickly and get on my calendar to discuss anything, right? So think about what you're putting out there in terms of energy, and then where you're sending them, and where they're landing. If they're landing on your website, that's great. But if it's an opt-in and they can opt in, you can actually stay in touch with them via email, okay? And via, well, in many different ways. I actually like opt-ins to have a phone number, so if you were to ask for their phone number, that's an even better way for them to connect with you. So give them something of value. Give them a book if you've got an ebook. Give them an actual, hand them a book if you've got one of those on you, if that's something that is doable. Leave them with something impressionable, okay? And then here's another little stuff. I was just listening to Christopher Kai, and he's so right in this. I tend to, when I talk to people, I let the conversation very naturally go to telling stories, okay? People remember stories. So stories are powerful in marketing. They're also powerful in just connecting with people and having a conversation. They will remember you because of a story that you told them, okay? So I told lots of stories last night. Become a storyteller. Okay, share stories that of people that you've met, expand upon what they're talking about, and it's just really powerful, okay? And they remember you, and they actually want to connect with you. So if you don't feel like you're at the place where you've got that kind of extroverted energy, or you feel like you're bothering someone by talking to them, then use questions, okay? Use questions, and then let it lead to stories. You start telling stories, and people will listen. People will actually enjoy listening. It's amazing how long they'll listen, and it's amazing what happens when you start telling stories, and it actually helps them, because if they're introverted, it helps them connect with you better as well, okay? And people love it when you make it easier for them to talk to you. I learned that in sales years ago. I've been in sales for years, and I learned that people, you know, if you're trying to sell and you're trying to get something, people can feel that, okay? So just make it about a fun conversation and share a story. I think, let's see, last night I shared a lot of stories, but I shared a story about being on stage with Barbara Corcoran, and it turns out that he knew somebody that had been on Shark Tank, and so that was a little story that I could tell. And then of course he was more interested in my book, and then he went to go look for my book as soon as we landed. And so that will send him to an opt-in page if he wants to get to know me further and what I do. And he runs a sales organization, and I could, you know, possibly speak, and I had mentioned that in the story too. So by me sharing the story of meeting Barbara Corcoran and being on stage with her, he saw me as someone that could be a leader or help his sales team. So you just never know what you're really sharing when you have a conversation. Okay, share more stories. I've got to get going because I'm going to get on a webinar, a Q&A, and with one of my mentors that I love, and I don't want to miss anything that she puts out. Okay, so have a good time. If anybody is coming to Las Vegas, please look for me. I know there's going to be a lot of people there, but reach out to me here, and then maybe we can meet at some point within the 4-day event, and I'm referring to the Grant Cardone 10X event, 10X Growth Con is what it's called. If you're going to be there, I would love to reach out, okay? Talk later. See you tomorrow, Taylor.